you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
We kind of just want to break the silence around mental health and learn how to better support ourselves and each other. Any physical activity is beautiful for mental health.
Why are they for your ass, bro?
Today I just learned that Meta and YouTube just had a lawsuit against them, and today they were just held liable about having addictive mechanisms in their app.
If you see someone else who you think you've seen notice changes and it looks like they're not doing well, reach out to them.
Welcome to Valley Vibes, your show about culture, arts, and happenings in the Imperial Valley from a youth perspective. I'm Dr. Tom Tackey, the creator and executive producer of Valley Vibes. May has been a crazy month for Spartan Sound Productions with our 100th episode celebration, the publication of 2 Voices del Valle episodes, student testing, and closing of the spring sports seasons. It was also a month of recognitions with the National Nursing Month, for which we released a special episode of our KPBS Voices del Valle podcast, Follow Your Dreams, the Lupe Rodriguez story. It was also Mental Health Awareness Month. So for today, 2 of our student hosts did a special project focusing on mental health awareness as it applies to students.
Welcome back to Inside the Blue Zone. I'm your host, Mason.
And I'm your host, Sasha.
And today we have a special episode of Mental Health Awareness. And we have 2 special guests. Can you guys please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Mrs. Chan. I'm the school counselor here at Central Union High School.
And I'm Carolina Gonzalez, a mental health specialist at Central Union High School.
So today we'll have real conversations about mental health, especially for teens navigating school, relationships, and life. And we kind of just want to break the silence around mental health and learn how to better support ourselves and each other.
So just start off right off the bat. Our first question is, what do you guys see the most common reason why teens struggle with their mental health, and why are they for your ass, bro?
Yeah, those are 2 loaded questions. So we'll start with the first one, which is why this population tends to struggle a lot with their mental health or their emotional well-being. One of the most common reasons is that during teenage years, they struggle a lot with the combination of pressure and a lack of safe emotional outlets. The pressure can come from either parents, friends, if they're involved in extracurricular activities, or all of that. And what we mean by safe emotional outlets, we're talking about the support or lack of support that these students don't receive outside of school. Or even here at school, where there is a lot of support by us, the mental health specialist or counseling department, they don't feel safe. They're not sure, can this person help me? Going back to the pressure, the students, they're balancing a lot. Academic expectations, social relationships, family relationships, and responsibilities. And once you get to your junior and senior year, you start thinking about the future. What am I going to do? And that's scary. Again, they may not feel comfortable expressing all this. They may not even know because it was never taught at home. So I would say all that impacts their mental health. But then we also want to talk about social media, which is something big and I would even say important in these teenage years. Something that Mrs. Tan and I didn't really deal with was social media because we are a little older, not too old, but we are. When I was in high school, I think MySpace was barely developing. I don't think you guys know about MySpace, but that was when, yeah, so it was a big social media platform that was coming out during my high school years. But I bring that up because social media can be very intensive. It intensifies the comparison between each other, and it even brings up unrealistic expectations. And all that can impact our self-esteem and even increase our anxiety and even depression sometimes. So, it's all this what I mentioned, social media, the combination of pressure, lack of safe emotional outlets, it can be overwhelming for this population.
I have to agree with you. I feel that I think the biggest stressors in this population is social media, but it's also like family and social environment, right? If you feel that you're in a toxic environment, or sometimes you don't even realize you're in a toxic environment, right? You're older now, you're not a little kid anymore, but you're still learning some of these skills that, you have to naturally learn through this stage in your life. But I really feel like social media has really put a big impact on teens and even adults' mental health. It's really easy just to scroll through things, and there's a lot of things that are on social media that are not very realistic. It's easier to say things without facing the person about what issues you are hurting you or bother you. But to say it in person, usually you don't see that happening in person. And, people used to take care of the problems in person more. And now, if it's in social media, it's like...
Now it's all online.
It's all online, right? And then they say social media connects us. I really think it disconnects us, because where is that connection, that body language, that, that friendly gesture, that smile, or whatever, because all of that are the skills that we learn. We learn to read how, people are maybe feeling and reach out to them.
Yeah, and Mrs. Tan brings up a good point about the toxic environment, because I'm pretty sure she wasn't just speaking about our home, but also our friends or even our romantic
correct.
relationships that can be very toxic. And once you guys go into the workforce and you start working with other people, sometimes that can be a little toxic as well, and that impacts our mental health. So knowing that, identifying like the red flags in any type of relationship is really important. That way, if you notice that it's affecting your mental health, you need to walk away in a safe way, especially if you are in a relationship where it's not healthy. And sometimes, right now with our family, we can't pick our families. And yes, sometimes it's not the best place for us. But what we can do is manage ourselves, our reactions, take care of ourselves, and just continue with that relationship with your family until you're able to maintain a balance.
Yeah, of course. Back on the social media, I want to put some input about that, because today I just learned that Meta and YouTube just had a lawsuit against them, and today they were just held liable about having addictive mechanisms in their app, because it affected a young woman and her mental health. And it's not just that young woman, it's everyone that is interacting with any social media platform. A lot of the times these companies specifically put down these mechanisms and the way they put their app to work. They do it purposely so because kids are the most
Influential.
Yeah, they're most influenced to go down this pathway in this app to just scroll, and these companies are aware of that because it just makes their money. And a lot of times that with even mental health and struggling, it's a lot of times compared to and developed from adults and companies who want money. And it's just there's not a lot of studies and information about that because it is so new in this era of technology. So it's just something to keep in mind that we have to be careful about where we put ourselves online in any social media presence, because it is pretty dangerous to put ourselves out there like that.
Well, I want to say that it is a more difficult task for parents to manage and monitor these kinds of things, and really, it's just left all in the hands of teenagers, and hopefully not younger, but unfortunately, even younger people or students. In some European countries, they have put restrictions on these type of influencers that can affect the development of how teens perceive themselves.
I mean, we
And
heard
even
about that too.
adults, because come on, let's
Yeah.
get this.
It's gotten to
It affects adults as well.
Yeah, because I've also heard about that. Where countries, I think China's also done it, where if you're under the age of 16, you're not allowed
They're
to be on
banned
these
from
apps.
social media.
Yeah.
Right. I think recently France did.
Yeah. We've also been learning about that.
Yeah, really.
And it really does. Everyone looks at it as negative. Like, all the kids look at it negatively, but it really isn't. If we put ourselves in this, like, hold that we need to be on social media, we need to be this, it's showing that students and kids are just, like, they do things for the presence of other people. Like, they don't do things for themselves anymore, they do it for others. And I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons why teens struggle with mental health and anything that revolves around them, because they're starting to do things for other people and not themselves. And yeah.
So go back to the toxic environment, friendships, like who you're around, your workspace, family, and all that. Do you believe like who you surround yourself with, like, affects the people like who want to reach out?
Yes. Go ahead. You're going to elaborate.
Yes, of course, because sometimes we worry about that stigma. What are people going to say if I share that I'm struggling
Or fitting in.
They want to fit in. They want to seem like they're cool, but what they probably don't consider or think about is that there's probably another person in their friend group or in their classroom that is struggling as well. I can guarantee you that. And like I said, back to the stigma, right? They're embarrassed to admit that they need help. Not only that they're struggling, but then admitting that they need help. It can feel a little scary. They can feel unsure of what's going to happen if they do express that they need help. But really, one of the most strongest and most important things that you can do for yourself is asking for help and sharing how you feel. Everybody deserves support. Everybody deserves to feel validated with their experience, and everybody deserves to be emotionally and mentally healthy, just how all of us have to be physically healthy, right? You don't have to say the perfect words. You don't have to you don't minimize your experience. Don't minimize your feelings, because they're valid. Everything that you feel is valid. We all have feelings for a reason. Even saying simple things as like, I'm not okay, I'm struggling, I feel sad today and I don't know why, that's enough for us, or for the individual to seek help. The other thing I want to mention too is there's been times where I've had students or individuals tell me like, well, I've reached out for help and they didn't do much, or I didn't like the person. Don't let that discourage you from reaching out for help as well. At the end of the day, we're all humans and we try to help each other out, but there's times where the connection isn't there with that person, but you can always go to another person. There's a lot of counselors. There's two of us, two of the mental health specialists. And if it's a service that the person isn't liking, we can always refer to outside behavioral health agencies, and hopefully there's a good fit. So don't give up. If you didn't really vibe with that person, there's a lot of other people that can help you out, that can listen and support you.
The other day, I think one of our students did mention that there are students that are embarrassed or feel it uncomfortable to go to the counseling office because they think that everybody is going to know. Know what, right? Know that you're coming to see the counselor. We see students for grade level conferences. Nobody has to know. It is for personal reasons. But I understand that it is difficult for some students just to go up and ask for that help, right? Even just to go to the counseling office. I'm in front of the counseling office window. Everybody's going to think that I have problems. No, hopefully that stigma goes away. We are there to help. In not just the personal social, but the academic, the career, planning for your future, all of those things. So if you're coming to counseling, it's not just for one purpose. There's a variety of things that we could assist you with. we also try to make ourselves accessible. And so if you don't want to walk up to the window, you could email your counselor. You could also schedule an appointment online. Of course, you won't get it that same day. Maybe a day later or a couple of days later, but we try to make it where you don't have to walk up to the window. You could do that from your computer or your phone.
And I want to add about the confidentiality aspect for at least us mental health specialists. Legally and ethically, we have to maintain confidentiality unless there's a safety or risk concern. And that entails suicidal ideation, homicidal, self-harming, or any type of abuse or neglect. But outside of that, we maintain confidentiality. We don't go and tell the parents. We don't go and tell the staff or the other students, of course. So it stays between us unless the student wants. Sometimes there's students that say, can you please let my mom know? And yes, of course we do. The student can also elect to do mental health services with Imperial County Behavioral Health through minor consent. And that is a California law that allows a child above 12 and older to receive mental health services, specifically therapy and case management, and the parent doesn't have to know.
For school counselors, when it comes to confidentiality, it's very, very similar. But remember, we work with the academic aspect of it. So, of course, with the academics, we are required to disclose academic information to your parents or your guardians. But when it comes to personal counseling, what you share remains confidential. We don't share that with other people. We don't disclose that unless you're in danger of harming yourself or you're aware that somebody else is in danger of harming themselves. That is when we do have to disclose to get additional help and support.
You're listening to Valley Vibes and our discussion on student mental health awareness. All Valley Vibes episodes are available on the Spartan Style Productions YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Amazon, and Apple.
I also want to say, what do you wish students knew about mental health and how to overcome their struggles?
Do you guys think students know enough about mental health? I feel like it should be more talked about and more expressed.
Shown more awareness to it.
Yeah, I really wish we us the mental health specialists had a little bit more time so we can talk about mental health. Part of our initiatives here are to go into the classrooms or at least bring awareness about mental health. However, we're also going against society as a whole. There's still people that don't feel comfortable talking about their mental health for whatever reason, cultural, religion reasons, their beliefs. So again, bringing up that stigma. So it can be a little challenging as well. We're in March, so in May, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we have a couple of activities planned starting April and moving forward to May. So please look forward to that. But what we would like for students, and not just students, but our community to know and understand is that mental health is just as important as our physical health. I mentioned that earlier. We put a lot of emphasis on our physical health, which is great. We need to be healthy, but we also need to be healthy mentally with our emotions and our thoughts. Our mental health and our physical health are connected. And there's times if our mental health is not working correctly, that's going to start impacting our physical health. We can lose weight, gain weight, not eat, not sleep right. That chronic stress can lead to diabetes, heart problems. So it's super important to take care of both. The other thing I want to mention is that if you are struggling with mental health, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. We all have mental health, just how we all have physical health. It's just that there's times where our mental health needs a little bit of help and support. Just how there's times where we feel sick, right? We get the cold or we break a bone or whatever, and we need help with that. It's the same thing with our mental health. Some of these mental health disorders can be managed and you won't experience the symptoms ever in your life. There's some that, you will have the symptoms for the rest of your life, but it's still managed. So just remember that about mental health. Now, overcoming it or taking care of it, obviously, if you're at a point where you need help and you realize, or the people around you tell you, hey, you might want to get help for this and that, you can always go to a therapist, a mental health therapist. Even though our title isn't mental health therapist, ultimately that is what we are. It's just here we're called specialists. So going to a mental health specialist, or even starting with a counselor, and they can always refer the students to us, or sometimes they even refer directly to the outside agency. We also have medication support. If you don't feel comfortable doing medication, that's okay. There's other things that you can do to manage it. And one of the most important things, though, that I want to discuss is that taking care of our mental health doesn't occur overnight, like medication, right? If you take medication because your head hurts or your stomach hurts, it's going to help right away within the next 30 minutes, an hour. That's not how mental health works. Mental health, it takes a lot of time, right? Consistency. Thank you for that. Because you're not gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna do this coping skill once and then I'm gonna feel better. No, exactly. You have to practice it, and it's gonna take time. It can take weeks to feel better. Making sure that you do it for yourself. So everybody else around you is going to be your team, your parents, your family, your friends, your mental health treatment. They're going to be your team. But at the end of the day, you have to do it for yourself to take care of yourself. Practicing those coping skills that you learn, hopefully with the therapist, setting healthy boundaries. You set them for yourself, and just giving yourself grace and being patient.
Of course, I've actually never had that outlook on mental health of it being connected with physical health. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to hear that, and I'm sure a lot of students would also appreciate hearing that, because I feel like a lot of people are kind of struggling. If they're going to the gym and they're getting really psyched out and they think that it's like a them problem, but if they're also struggling with something outside, they may get really frustrated. So it's really important to see the connection, and I hope other students who hear that will understand that both their physical and mental health is important. Yeah.
I love that you brought the gym, because even if you don't go to the gym, even if you do a simple walk or a jog, you're walking your dog, whatever you're doing that's a physical activity, think about how you feel after. You feel good, you feel happy. Yes, you might be a little tired, but your physical body's tired, but your brain is actually happy, your emotions. You're never gonna leave the gym, or you're never gonna end a walk feeling mad or sad. You might start it that way, but end it feeling better. So I love that you bring that up, because any physical activity is beautiful for our mental health. And again, even as simple as walking your dog.
Dancing in your room alone also.
That's physical and mental.
Yeah, definitely. But the way I view mental health, it's an ongoing thing. Again, I agree. Everybody has to take care of their physical health, but everybody also has to take care of their mental health, and they're both very much connected, right? I'm going to go back to social media, because sometimes we spend too much time on social media that we don't give enough time for ourselves to do any physical activities, right? Or we stay on social media. You know how you just start scrolling, and then whoops, 2 hours have passed. And where did that time go? Was it productive, right? Was it good for your physical health as well? No, it probably wasn't. So I do recommend to manage your mental health. Look for some physical activities that you like for yourself, right? It could be walking, it could be running, it could be going to the gym. I personally don't like going to the gym. I prefer to do my exercises at home or go for a walk. But you got to find something that speaks to you and stick with it. Good nutrition, good physical health, having some physical activity, even just getting outdoors sometimes, right? Hobbies, that's another thing. what happened to hobbies, right? And I'm not just talking sports. Yeah, that could be a hobby, but some people like gardening, some people like knitting, crocheting, right? Drawing, painting, journaling. There's just like a whole myriad of things that you could find, but stick with something that speaks to you, and that is something that could help your mental health, right? Taking that 30-minute break away from any social media or electronic devices, and really just trying to meditate. For some people it's meditation, for some people it's exercise, for some people it's prayer. So you find something that fits for you.
I totally agree with that. I feel like now we haven't been getting used to hobbies, and you see other people that have hobbies and they seem really happy doing it, and it kind of just influences others to even do that hobby. And I completely agree with how hobbies affect us positively. But yeah, and just to wrap it up, I just want to help you guys for kind of breaking the stigma around mental health, for what you guys do on campus year to year, semester to semester. You guys help students year round, and so we just want to thank you guys for that. I mean, it really means the world for the students, and you guys make such a big impact on us and everyone that surrounds you. So thank you so much. But yeah, we just want to thank you and thank you for being on our podcast. And I just want to put a reminder to everyone listening that your mental health matters and your feelings are valid, and reaching out is important and is okay.
Is there anything you guys want to say?
It's okay to ask for help, but when you're talking about yourself or thinking about yourself. But if you see someone else who you think you've noticed changes and it looks like they're not doing well, reach out to them, or reach out to someone else who you think could help them.
And I just want to say that we're always here. We're available, mental health specialists. We're in the Career Center, in the library, also the counselors. But if you are not ready to get help from us, or you don't know how, or even feel comfortable, go to your favorite teacher, go to the security guard, go to the lunch staff members. They'll know what to do to connect you with either us or with the counselors. And we'll do our best to help you and make you feel comfortable.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on our podcast, and hopefully this helps all those listening. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great segment that was. We now bring you 3 more student hosts to give their review of the Michael Jackson movie.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. My name is Guillermo.
My name is Leo.
My name is Nico.
And today we're going to talk about a movie that came out called Michael Jackson. Y'all heard about that?
Yeah, we just watched it.
Well, I haven't watched it, but I'm still curious about it. I'm planning on watching it soon.
Leo, did you like the movie?
Yeah, I actually love the movie. I found that it was really interesting, and since I don't really know that much about Michael Jackson's history, his backstory and stuff like that, I was just really interested to learn about it, because my girlfriend's a really big fan of his, so I just wanted to we watched it together, so it was just really interesting just to learn about his upbringing and all the crazy stuff his family was up to, especially his dad. So yeah.
Did you guys like the song that he was playing, Billie Jean or Thriller, or more of his iconic songs?
Yeah, Billie Jean is actually one of my favorite songs of his, but I kind of wish he played Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal. That one's nice.
Memo, were you a big fan of Michael Jackson before the movie?
I mean, I heard some of his songs. I was a little fan, but not too much. But now that I saw the movie, that I boosted my it boosted me up. I like more of Michael Jackson just because I know more of him.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So, do you think you listen to more of his music now after you watch the movie, or no?
Yeah, it definitely brought me back to his music, and it's okay on my playlist right now.
Oh, okay. Which song?
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, okay. Do you know of his story before the movie, or what happened to him and stuff?
Honestly, I just heard probably just rumors when he was just taking care of like younger kids.
Oh yeah, like those stories.
I heard that like
Yeah.
there's a rumor that he did it to protect it from the other island. I forgot what it's called. Leo, do you know what it's called?
I think it was
Yeah, but all that stuff about him being like like
predator.
a predator and stuff. But I didn't really believe that. But
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, that's a popular theory. But I think after watching that movie, it really like seeing how nice he was like to animals and stuff. I really don't think he was the type of person who would ever do that. So
Yeah, or how he was portrayed.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he was just trying to like, cause did you see the scene when he was in the hospital and he saw like all the little kids like injured and everything, and he just felt bad. Like he knew like he needed to make a change.
yeah, that scene was actually really powerful. It really like resonated with me. Like seeing him in the hospital, taking care of all the sick children. They look like cancer patient kids. So
Wasn't like one of them was like they were like burned or something.
I think yeah, one of them was a burn victim.
Even though I haven't watched the movie though, I do have something interesting to like say. The one who was casted as Michael Jackson, it was actually his nephew, which is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, it
and
is
I
his
thought it
nephew.
was pretty cool that someone in his family got to take on that role, someone that big, and I'm low key like glad it was someone like within his family because he also does look a lot like him too.
Yeah, at first I didn't see it that much, but now that I saw it in the movie, I was like, low key. In some parts, I thought it was Michael.
Yeah, especially in that, I think it was a Thriller video. No, I saw like a clip of it where he was like singing.
Yeah. I think there's another one when he was about to go on stage and he looks in the camera, but like he like only his side profile goes, and then that's like people were saying that was actually Michael. Like he got
Actually?
summoned,
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to hear. That like he like his soul lives on within like his family.
And talking about his family, I thought it was really crazy. Like when they showed what his dad would do, like how abusive he was. I did hear I seen some Michael Jackson interviews, and one of the questions was talking about his dad, calling him abusive, and like they would ask him, "Did your father ever hit you?" And he seemed reluctant, like he was scared, but he nodded. He was like, "Yes, he did." But in the movie, like it shows really like how much like how scared of them he was, how often he would beat him, and for almost no reason. I thought it was how can I put it? Yeah, just like to simplify, I thought it was really sad how for no reason like he would hit him, and also and the whole movie they never refer to him as dad or nothing like that. They would always call him Joseph, like yes Joseph, no Joseph, which it really seemed to like disconnect him like from the rest of the family because well I never called my dad by his first name, so yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Wait, Leo, I got a question. Do you think of his dad mentality of like him hitting him, like learning from his mistakes? That's why he hit him, or like do you think like him hitting Michael will make him like not make that same mistake that he did?
But Leo said that like he hit him because like he was, because of like no apparent reason. So like I think he was just an abusive dad just because why not.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I think he was a perfectionist, abusive dad. I think if things didn't always go his way, then he just had to take it out on his kids. And Michael especially, because he was the only one we saw in the movie getting beat. But I feel like that was only because Michael was like the most obvious talent in the Jackson 5. So when things didn't go his way, he was more likely to take out his anger on Michael for not like envisioning or whenever he talked back. In the beginning of the movie, they come back from playing a show and they're all so happy, they're all tired, they want to go to bed. So they're like, "Oh, good job everyone, let's go." But then Joseph says, "Oh, where are you guys going? Like, no, you guys can't leave yet. We gotta stay up and rehearse. Like, we're gonna rehearse until we get it perfect because you guys weren't good out there." And Michael speaks back. He talks back. He's like, "What, Joseph? We're tired. We just want to go to sleep." And then and then Joseph gets mad, so he starts yelling, "What do you like?" He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, who do you think you're talking to? Like, look at me when I'm talking to you. Like, get over here." And he hits him. He beats him pretty bad. He sends him to his room crying, and I guess the rest of the family rehearsed without him. So,
for Michael, when he gets hit and everything, to get that off his head, doesn't he read like The what book is it?
I think he reads on the Neverland book. What's that?
Yeah.
What's Oh, it's the Captain Hook,
Yeah.
Peter Pan one.
Yeah, Peter Pan. I was trying to. Yeah.
I saw where he scribbles in with pen on Captain Hook's face. He says Joseph.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Not gonna lie, that was a funny moment.
Maybe now that you guys are thinking about it, because I didn't really know this before, I wonder if he, I guess, forgave his father like as he grew on, because like eventually he did become like the biggest artist in the world and to have ever existed, you know. But yeah, do you think he forgave him like after or not? Or do you think he still had like a little like grudge about how he treated him?
Seeing the Michael movie, him being like a good like nice person, like that's his like all personality, just being like nice and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like he did, but if I was in his shoes, I would not forgive like my dad if he ever like
Treated
you know,
you like that?
yeah, treated me like that. But even though it was like for my good, but I don't think that was for Michael's good, because he already had like a beautiful voice at a young age.
Yeah.
And well, I guess, like he gets better the older he gets, you know. So I don't think there's a point of hitting, like, you know, a child to get right, you know.
Yeah. And then also talking about that movie, once again, I haven't watched it, but I know his sister Janet Jackson was not involved in the movie. Do you like? Is there a reason you guys know why there was or no?
I don't know that much about it.
I heard online that Janet was I think what I heard was that, I don't know, obviously, right? Because I'm not close to Janet Jackson or anything. But I heard that for reasons that she thought they were going to portray Michael like in a bad light, or that she just didn't want to be like involved in the movie. Well, like she didn't want no one playing her or coming up or nothing like that, was because, yeah, she just didn't want to like be involved in case like they painted Michael in a bad way or something like that. But also who wasn't in the movie was Diana Ross. And Diana Ross was one of like
Manager.
Yeah, like a talent manager, I think, for Michael Jackson. But she was 14 years older, and she's known him ever since like he's a little kid. And I guess as he got older, like they were becoming more intimate, like romantically and stuff like that. And obviously that was bad for Michael.
Really, I did not know that. Like, were they getting really close to be like married type or no?
I don't
Or was
really.
it more like an affair?
I don't really know.
Or it was like secretly, you know, secretly like dating or something like that. Not an affair, because like I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they were
Michael
married.
Was, like dating someone. Or,
I think it was more like a grooming situation, like from him being that young and
I mean, 14 years.
14. Yeah, a 14-year age difference is pretty like.
Big.
Yeah.
Like that's drastic.
I heard that she was gonna be in the movie, and in the end, like they had an actor cast to play her and everything. They had shot some scenes already, and I guess she pulled out. She was like, "Oh no, I don't want you guys using my character for the movie, bringing me up, nothing like that." Probably because of all the heat that people were gonna like.
Talk about, or
Yeah,
like,
because
saying,
yeah, that would be pretty weird.
Anyways, you have something to add?
Just that I really like the movie, and I hope the part 2 comes out soon.
Where you know what place it like the Michael Jackson movie ended in? Like what era?
I think it was in the mid to late 80s with the last concert he did with the Jackson 5.
It was the Bad era, no? Like the Bad Era song.
Yeah.
Was it that concert?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
was that the concert that he announced that he was gonna go like solo?
Yeah, that when he did that concert, he was like, "Oh, and by the way, this is the last one we're gonna do with the Jackson 5." And Memo, what do you think about the movie?
Overall, I think it was one of the best movies that came out this year. I really liked it. It was very entertaining. It was not even boring at all. I kept my eyes on the screen the whole time. So Nico, what about you? Did you or are you gonna go watch the movie?
Yeah, honestly, but what you guys are saying, I think this movie sounds like it's really good. I've seen some good reviews. I've seen people talk about it. So yeah, I feel like I'm definitely gonna go watch it this weekend. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much the whole podcast.
Yeah, until next time, guys. I've been Leo.
I've been Nico.
And I'm Guillermo.
Until next time.
This program was produced and brought to you by Spartan Sound Productions. Special thanks to ICOE school-based mental health specialist Carolina Gonzalez, Central Union High School counselor Harlene Tan, and student hosts Mason Nava and Sasha Leon. Thanks to our student guests Guillermo, Leo, and Nico for the movie review. Thanks also to Dr. Thomas Tacky, creator and executive producer of Spartan Sound Productions, the administration of Central Union High School, Mr. Javier VibeZ, and Power 98 for hosting us. And to you, the listeners.